And now bringing you that hard hitting fight analysis, submitting you into paralysis. Josh Thompson head kicking leg to dome, and Big John McCarthy saying let's get it on.
Hello, everyone. I am late. I apologize, but it is the Weighing In Podcast, and we are ready to go. And I have got a special co-host, a man that has been killing it lately. He has been working not only as the fighter, but as the interviewer, doing all kinds of things. We were at CJI together. My man, the Fresh Prince, Phil Rowe. How you doing? That hat is popping, dude. I love it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on. I'm in my home here chilling. Life's good, man. Life's good.
Dude, who took that picture behind you, man? You actually said, yeah, I'll do that, man. Here you go. Boom.
What's funny is that is my first UFC photo ever.
That is awesome.
So you know when you do the fighter check-in, and then they have you do your poses, they wait you for you get your sizes, your gloves. I was the first. If you could find, they do it now. If you could find a fighter, I will give you $1,000 that did any of these type of photos before Phil. You find me one. Ever since me, they do it. You ask Mike Roach himself, he'll be like, Phil, no one's done this. So before you know, you get the
you get the nasty.
He's like,
gotta
Phil,
get the muscular
look.
Right.
Look to the left, and then you go through. But I said, man, these are kind of dorky. So then I said, I can take one. He's like, yeah, of course. He said, what you got? And then I did that, and he was beside himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
So pretty much every time now I do a funny one.
That is awesome. I love to see it. All right, we're going to get into things right away since I was late because I couldn't get my computer to work because I'm not that good with this crap. But you and I were together in Vegas over the weekend, and we were both at the Craig Jones Invitational #2. There was all kinds of things that happened. You were doing all kinds of interviews. There was some funny shit going on with what you were doing and stuff. Some great interviews. You had DJ, you had Aljamain Sterling, you had everyone coming up and talking with you. Just tell me right, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy?
I enjoyed it. I have a new appreciation for production, TV, behind the scenes. It is way more extensive than people imagine. Way more extensive. So I want to do it. I want to be a part of production. I want to be a part of TV when I'm done fighting. So I appreciate Craig and Seth for even giving me the opportunity. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you did an awesome job because I'm telling you, you were a natural at it, man. You were making it where it was just things flowed. The way you cut off of things, you did a great job. So congratulations on being part of that. And it was really impressive how good you were if that was your first time ever.
Nah, it was. I appreciate it. And like, of course, we're hypercritical of ourselves the same way in you and what you do, I'm sure. But it is not as easy as people think.
No, it's not.
By a landslide. But what helped me was Hanato, you, Chael. A lot of people came up to me and was like, look, Phil, you're here because of who you are, right? So don't shy too far away from who you are, right? And if you do that, you'll find your groove. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. But it's still hard because you have to relay a message, right? You have to be the eyes and ears and bring in a different viewpoint that the fans don't see. So there was a learning curve. The first day, bro, I was terrified. And I felt like the first time I fought, it felt just like it. And there was nothing to cling on to. Like, at least when I'm fighting, I'm like, okay, when I'm nervous, I'm like, okay, I've trained, I fought before, like, okay, I got this. But I've never done it, so I couldn't calm myself. I'm like, fuck. There was nothing to grasp onto, like, okay, I've done this. Like, I've never rehearsed this stuff. I've never done nothing. So after the first day, waking up day 2 was definitely better. And I slowly started to get in my groove.
Yeah, you did a great job because it is not easy. And it just to come up sometimes with just the questions you want to ask someone, you've got it in your mind. And then as they're talking, you forget everything because you're sitting there listening to them. And so
it never pans out what you think it is.
Never.
Literally, like the night before, I'm like looking, what's up? This is your boy Philly Fresh. We're at the Craig Jones Invitational 2, live and free on Flow Grappling. I'm doing all this. And then as soon as someone gets up, they're like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I kept saying, Phil, just be you. Just chill. And to be honest, who helped me out was Kynan. And I tell you why. So, do you guys, can you curse on the pod?
Yes. Are you
Oh,
kidding?
okay.
If we couldn't, I would be in deep shit.
Okay. So, and so I see, side note, jiu-jitsu guys, weenies, a lot of ego, fucking weenies. If you go to a UFC event, from the fights I've been at, John's been at a lot more than me, but for the most part, everybody's humble and chill, man. And like everyone's nervous back there. Everyone's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like there's really no egos, minus if there's somebody that has beef, people that are fighting each other. But camps are always showing love. It's like, it's chill. The vibe isn't aggressive. It's not like, and you would think at a jiu-jitsu event, it would be the same. But these guys are like, they're fucking weenies, man. Like, they're like, you would think they're about to go to war. You know, you guys about to roll around and get free money. Like, chill out. So I walk in doing my thing, and I'm seeing guys and saying what's up to guys, and many people aren't really talking to me. So my job is to interview and highlight athletes. So you guys don't have CJIs often. There's no UFC type event for fucking jiu-jitsu. So if you got a guy there that's promoting you, you better come and get an interview. I mean, like UFC's running every other. You would think. So, and then if you see Phil, someone you know, oh shit, yo, Phil, nobody. So I'm like, all right, this is weird. So finally I'm asking certain people for interviews. And then later on in the day, Todd's in my ear. He's like, Phil, we need a fill-in for here. So whoever you want to interview, we're going to put them on the Jumbotron, and when they walk out, they'll have their piece. That is fucking epic. So I'm like, you know what? Let me think. I'm like, let me hit up Kynan. I just thought of Kynan. Let me give Kynan some love. I go in the back and say, yo, Kynan, I can get it. No one would talk to me when I walked in anyway. When I walked into Atos, they're like really weird, minus Andre because he knows me. They were like, no one's talking to me. Like, then they're getting up, walking past me. I have a camera crew with me. I'm like, yo, Kynan, I can get an interview really quick before you. No. Like, what? Fuck you. I'm not here on my own accord. I'm here for CJI. I'm doing a job. You should want to hide. They're about to put you on the Jumbotron.
You would think you'd want to be at least having someone get to know who the hell you are.
You weirdo. So then I go up to Victor Hugo. Absolutely. And then Victor Hugo got that whole 2 minutes to say with his spiel. They put him on the Jumbotron, and he walks out. Like, why wouldn't you do that? You know? So I don't know. There was just like a lot of ego in those rooms. And then that actually helped me out because I'm like, you guys are fucking weenies, man. Then I just was kind of relaxed and kind of chill. And then slowly people started to come around, you know?
Yeah, it is difficult. And so I'm lucky because I've known a lot of, especially the coaches, forever, you know, and it's like, you know, John Danaher is a great guy, but he's different in talking to different people. And he's always been, he's always, when he asks, said, John, may I ask a question? And that's the way he talks to you. And you go, yeah, John, what do you need? Right? He goes, question number one, what about if they do? And he goes into it and says, okay, you've answered that. My next question. And it's just like, and I'm sitting there with him talking, and we're going over stuff, because I had to go in after the first day. We want more, the promoters we want more stalling calls because we want these guys going after each other. We don't want them, hanging back and trying to just hold on. And it's like, you got it. So I went to every team, every coach, I'm sitting there and say, look, I'm telling you right now, if you are not attacking or going after somebody, or at least stepping out of something and then going back and engaging, we're going to start, telling you, hey, engage. That's going to be a soft warning. We'll give you a hard warning. Then we'll start taking points from you, and we'll take you completely out of this. So, I thought everyone actually competed really well the second day. First day, not quite so much. But the funniest one was, the one fight fell apart. It was supposed to be, Craig Jones, the guy who, the event is named after, was going to take on Gable Stevenson. Excuse me. And, Gable pulled out, and the true reason why he pulled out is why. Well, let's see. He's signing with the LFA so he can get a couple of MMA fights. You know where he's going to go. He's going to end up going to the UFC, and the UFC has their own, BJJ thing now, and they weren't happy with Craig. And so Gable all of a sudden came up with turf toe. Okay. All right. So you got turf. So whatever. So, Craig comes out the first night. He walks out. He addresses the entire crowd, and you gotta admit they did a great job of putting butts in the seats for a grappling event. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
And Craig basically let things be known about how he felt about Gable, because what did he say? He says, "Oh, and the last thing, Gable Stevenson, you're a bitch."
That shit was crazy.
Oh, dude, I was like, "Oh my god," he actually said that. Which look, Gable's not, but I understand why he was upset with him. But then they bring in Chael Sonnen, who they had called, and when they heard that Gable was going to be possibly pulling out, they were trying to find someone. And obviously, Chael's that guy, he'll answer the call to anything, but Chael's 48 years old, and you got to be honest about things. And, he's a competitor, but the older you get, and I hate to tell you this because it's going to someday, dude, Father Time catches up with everyone, and things are not easy.
No!
That's it. Well, but going into it, Chael understood what he was up against and going to be going, and he knew that, he had lost to Craig when Craig was 21, back in ADCC. And so you're looking, I go to Craig and I go in the back to talk to Craig and say, "Hey, is there any questions about anything?" And he goes, "No, Johnny, I'm good." And I said, "I know you're good." I said, "But I got to know right now, like, how hard are you going to go on Chael?" And I'm just being on, this is just honest because, they're at different levels. When you talk about, if it was a wrestling match, it would be different. If it's a jiu-jitsu match, they're at completely different levels. And so, he says, "No," he goes, "Look, I'm not going to go after him hard. I'm going to put him in things. I'll let him go. I'll let him put me in things. And we're just going to put on a show." Kind of like what he did with Gabby, at CGI 1. I don't know if you ever saw that match, but, he'd put her in a twister and let go of it, and he just put all these different things going. So I said, "Hey, no problem." I go and I talk to Chael, and Chael's like, "Hey, John, he's not going to try to pop my knee and stuff like that." I said, "Chael," I said, "I've talked with him. He's gonna go through, a rolling session with you. He's not going to try to, put you out. Maybe in the second round or so, he'll start, putting some pressure on it, and if you need to tap, just tap. But, he's going to try to, let things flow through the first round and stuff." And he goes, "Oh, great." He goes, "Oh, that's perfect." So they go out there. Chael goes and he grabs, and Chael ends up taking Craig down. And I'm watching, and I'm thinking, well, nothing's going to truly happen here in the first round because Craig's not going to try to submit him. And I'm being honest with myself. I know Chael can't submit Craig. That ain't going to happen. So, I'm like, okay, so I'll just kind of step back and watch. And all of a sudden, and I see Craig setting up, a buggy choke, and he starts moving towards, that position. He's trying to swing his leg and grab his leg with his arm through, and it's getting tighter. And I'm looking, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I see him, basically, and I do look at Chael and I go, "Chael, you need to move." I'm thinking to myself, "Chael, you got to move. You're getting stuck." And Chael's just like holding on, and then he's kind of holding on tighter, which is only going to make the buggy choke even worse. And so all of a sudden I see Craig kind of squeeze a little bit, and I see Chael's hand starts to tap, but he doesn't hit anything. It just, his fingers move.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that.
His fingers start to move, and I go, "Craig, stop. He's out. Craig, let him go. He's out." Right. And I'm a little bit away from him. And Craig kind of, he lets go, and he looks at me, he goes, "He's what?" I go, "He's out." He goes, "You're shitting me." Right. And I go, "No." Right. So I go over and I grab Chael's arm and I kind of, turn him. And about that time, Chael's kind of like, his one eye was kind of fluttering. And so he kind of, and he pops up, right? And he goes, "What happened?" And I go, "Dude, you went out, right?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "Oh, yeah." Right? And he goes, 2 out of 3, right? He goes, 2 out of 3. And I go, "No, it's over, Chael." He goes, and he looks at me and goes, "John," he goes, "I got to give them something. I give these people something. 2 out of 3. Right? And I go, "All right, let's go back." And I just, I talked to him for a second. I said, "You okay?" Right? And he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." I go, "Chael, do you understand what a buggy choke is?" And he goes, "I have no fucking idea."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So I go over to Craig, right? And I go, "Hey," I said, "he's willing to go again." I go, "He feels like he hasn't, fulfilled his commitment to actually compete with you." And you go, if you want to, we can just restart it and have another go. And he goes, yeah, no problem at all. Let's do it. That's great. So I go over, restart him again, right? And all of a sudden, he gets the takedown. He's inside control again, and I see Craig starting to hook up a buggy choke, and I go, "You got to be shitting me!" And all of a sudden, here goes Chael. He goes out faster this time, and it's deeper. And I said, stop, Craig, let him go. He goes, "Oh, you got to be kidding!"
He said that the second time, Craig?
Oh yeah, he goes, "You got to be kidding!" He goes, "John, I'm not squeezing that hard." And I go, "Well, you're squeezing hard enough."
Oh my!
And he puts him out, right? And then so I pick up Chael, and I'm walking Chael back to his corner, and he's going 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and I go, "Nope."
Yeah,
no.
that's what I remember. I remember hearing that pit side. He's like 3 out of 5. So I'm like, bro, get Chael out of here before he gets hurt.
Exactly.
I want him to walk out of there okay.
Yeah, and that's it. And so as I
moly.
walk him back, Fabiano Skirter is the guy that gave him his black belt, right? And I look at Fabiano and go, "Fabiano,
Love him, by the way."
I go, "Have you ever taught him what a buggy choke is?" He goes, "John, I don't teach that shit." That's it. I'm done. I am done. All right. Well, Craig Jones is definitely the winner. It was a funny moment, but it was funny in the fact that people think that if you're out there competing, all these moves and stuff. And I was being honest. I thought, well, you got to know what that is. It's been around for fucking 15 years almost. It was created by a white belt, right? But it's a great move,
Amazing move that you have to be flexible to be able to finish. Like, I don't know if you saw Craig and I's match. It's a similar thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Craig is a little off. I love Craig. I think all these guys that are elite got the little Mikey Musumeci a little bit.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
They all got a little bit of the, because here's why. I'm in Mexico. I'm not in Mexico. Asim, the president of Karate Combat, hits me up. He's like, "Phil, I want to get a good grappling match. I think I'm going to have Craig Jones on, blah, 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 blah. You got to help me get him an opponent." I said, "Asim, here's a problem that you're going to run into with the submission series in the pit. Grappling is boring as shit, right? So if you're going to book someone, make sure you book someone that both together, the lead up will be entertaining, because the match itself is going to be boring. Your product is Karate Combat. 89 or 90 something percent of the fights end in knockouts.
Knockouts, yeah.
People are going to literally uproar when they see jiu-jitsu in Karate Combat." He's like, "Damn, Phil, you're right. I didn't think about it." I said, "So look, if you're going to book someone, make sure you just find entertaining guys that will sell." He's like, "Oh, you're right." So he's just trying to help me figure out. And I said, "Man, Jacob Couch is good. The Hillbilly Hammer." I'm giving him all these names.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make it happen. He couldn't find no one. He's like, "Phil," he's like, "Would you do it?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I would do it." I said, "Craig's my boy. I'll hit him up." I hit up Craig. I said, "Yo, let's grapple. Blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Phil, how much do they usually charge, or how much should I charge them? I don't really care." I said, "Don't worry, I'll get you a bag." I got him a good bag, actually.
Very nice.
Fast forward, I said, "Yo, Craig, I got some business partners out there that will put some money behind us. Let's just amp it up. I'm going to talk a lot of shit. I'm going to make it funny, so on and so forth." And that's exactly what I did. Fast forward, we get to Mexico. I have the best Mexican ensemble you have ever seen. I literally went to where the top dancers and singers go and get a. When I say I was kitted out, I spent $1,300 on my outfit.
Holy shit!
Why? Why? Because I'm like, you know what? This is a lifelong experience. I'll keep this for whatever reason. And I did the whole thing. Dean Thomas was with me. So I said, "Craig, you got to get an outfit." I said, "I'm walking out with, I'm going to be the flyest guy in the arena." He's all right. So Craig gets like this little sombrero thing, whack. Fast forward, I hire a mariachi band.
Oh, that's awesome.
To walk me out. Fire. Mariachi band to walk me out of Karate Combat. Craig is my friend. I've trained with Craig a lot. I know how good he is. And also Craig is not a small guy. People think he's small. He's not small, and he's very strong. Super flexible. Pretty big size for where he's at. So long story short, me, Joe Meow, Craig, we're training all week, having fun in Mexico. I know, look at this walkout. Epic. Come on. Like, this is literally the best walkout. I'm not even biased to myself. Look at your boy. Look at your boy. That
Nacho!
with the fake cigarette.
Oh, dude, that's hysterical.
A shot of
You
tequila.
look like a
Lakers.
Lakers. You look like a Laker mariachi.
Look at that.
That's
man.
awesome.
And you'll see the band behind me. Look at this. It gets no better. This is showmanship. But anyway,
you still have that outfit, don't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right in the crib. I can't wait for May 5th every year. I'm at the local bar looking crazy. But awesome. So me and Craig are training the morning of. We're training. The night before, we're training. Showing me moves. Craig, we have a show to put on. Give the people 5 minutes of us rolling. You moron. Craig fucking jump triangles me in 10 seconds. I was so mad. I wanted to fight him. I was literally mad. I'm like, Craig, what the fuck are you doing? He's that good, by the way.
Yeah.
So we start. Craig pushes me to the pit. I pull myself to the pit because I'm like, you know what? If I go to the pit, you fall down. So if I fall down, I will be on my back, right? And I would rather Craig above me because he can't get in many leg entanglements from there.
Yeah.
That was my idea. He gets me to the pit, jumps triangle in fucking 6 seconds, submits me. I was furious. I was so fucking mad at him.
I think he's got that switch where he doesn't realize how hard he's going.
The Mikey Musumeci. He got the little bit of Mikey Musumeci because we can discuss this. We're gonna put on roll a little bit. Look at this shit, man. I wanted to kick his ass, man. I wanted to knee him in the neck.
It is so. One of the things you talk about, some people being weenies and stuff, and Victor Hugo, who you're talking about. He got kneed in the head just a little bit.
I saw it.
And I swear to you, he tells me, he goes, you saw that knee, right? I said, yeah, I saw the knee, right? He says, that just told me I'm never doing MMA. Victor is one of my favorite guys that I met the whole weekend, by the way. Super cool guy. Yeah, he's very
and you know
good.
What's weird about Craig too? I talked to Gordon before my Nicky Rod match and before my Craig match. And Gordon sent me an encyclopedia before my Nicky Rod match and just to help me out. Same thing with Craig. He was like, Phil, I'll be honest, it's going to be very hard not to be submitted by Craig. My goal was always just not to be submitted. My Nicky Rod match, I had a 20-minute sub-only match with Nicky Rod. It was 0-0 with 3 minutes left. And then he passed my guard, then he beat me 7-0. But he did not submit me. It was a win to me. He was up 41 pounds on me.
That's his thing.
Oh, yeah. So my match with Craig, I literally just wanted to not be submitted. And Gordon's like, Phil, it's going to be very hard. And what's crazy about Craig, he has the most everywhere he can fucking hurt you. Even in a tie-up. I had a Russian, and he went for a standing arm bar, and I had to snatch my arm out. I'm like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, he's phenomenal. If Craig actually cared, he did. But if he cared now, elite, man, absolutely elite.
Anyway, what the thing that I always try to explain to people is, they talk about, well, what if what? How is it that he's just that much? Look at if that's all you do, it's no different than boxing. This is what I try to tell people about. Look at an MMA fighter when he goes in the gym, he's got to learn how to box. He's got to learn how to wrestle. He's got to learn jiu-jitsu. He's got to learn Muay Thai kicks and different types, or Taekwondo with some of the things. And there's so many things that you have to start to try to master, and you can never be the master of any of them compared to what that person that just does that one thing. And so, when you have an MMA guy go against someone that's an elite grappler, it's like, I don't care, how good you were as a grappler before the MMA. you are going to tail off in some of those skill sets based upon you having to spend time on all these other skill sets. So
100,000%.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to listen to people. But the whole thing with the CJ, I enjoyed it. I thought a lot of the matches were good. There was, a couple things that happened with, oh, I didn't tap. Yes, you did. I was surprised that they actually had people thinking, oh, you have to tap 3 times. And these are high level people. He has to tap 3 times. Who the fuck ever told you that?
Bro, look, Gordon, once again, Gordon is my friend. I called Gordon the morning of, and I said, Gordon, you know what I'm doing? Is there any message you want me to relay to the public? Anything? He goes, don't bring my name up. Just like that. I was like, he's like, no, I'm not mad or nothing, Phil. I'm just saying I would rather you not bring on. I said, all right. I said, I'm just calling you out of respect for you. I respect you. And this is a big platform. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. So and essentially I'm a mole, right? Because I'm your boy. So he was like, just don't bring my name up. I said, all right. He said, no, I'm not mad or nothing. Just I would rather you not. I was like, all right, cool. So I did not. But I had a match with Gordon Ryan.
Yep.
And Gordon asked me to compete against him. Same reason that to build it up, so on and so forth. Obviously, I cannot beat Gordon Ryan. Clearly. Obviously, I'm smaller than Gordon Ryan. In our match, that Monday, I broke my hand. I was grappling Rodolfo Vera, and the whole camp, and I actually had a camp for Gordon Ryan, was to not be submitted. So I was doing rounds of Jacare Souza, Rodolfo Vieira, and it was just them shark tanking me and just beating my ass.
Yeah.
And me surviving. Literally, that's what it was. 10-minute rounds of me just getting smushed by these guys. So I got up after the end of one round and I walked over to the corner of the cage and I went like that. And the cage has a padding on top. John, it was extremely hard. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I'm doing this and I feel my hand click. And I said, Julian, I broke my. He said, no, you didn't. I said, I broke my hand 100%. I've never broken a bone in my life. This is the only bone I've ever broken, ever in life. Good. Knock on wood. He goes, Phil, you're lying. I go to the ER, broken hand. Shattered that right there. Mind you, this is Monday. I'm grappling Gordon Saturday. I cannot pull out, not on some tough guy shit, the fact that I'm about to get an opportunity to grapple the best grappler in the world. He's not going to grapple me again. He was coming off his injury. He just wanted to get back, wanted to be back on the scene, have a fun match. So it's like if Floyd Mayweather calls you to box tomorrow, you're probably going to box him.
Hell yes.
John, go get that bag.
Hell
exactly.
Yes.
So that's what it was. So I wrapped. I actually had a cast that day. Like I went to the thing, got the cast. The only person that I told was like Nicky Rod and a couple guys from B Team. When I got there, I went to the hospital and they cut it off, the cast. My hand looked like Professor Clump's. It was just fat. So what I did was I wore a lot of jewelry all week on my hand to kind of take you from looking at how fat my hand was. And before that match, I went in the bathroom, I pounded a fifth of Jack, and I wrapped my hand up as tight as I could. And I was smacked going out there, dude. Drunk as hell. So much so, you can ask my coach. I'm in the back, like warming up, and I'm like damn near in tears because I'm drunk and I'm fucking in my own head. I'm like, these guys think I'm a bitch. I ain't no bitch. I'm gonna go out there and my coach is like, Phil, like what's going on? He's like, it's just a grappling match, man. I was like, no, man, fuck that. I literally took a fifth of Jack. And then I went out there.
I'm surprised you didn't throw up on Gordon.
I know. I got a little long-winded in my story, but this is the point of the story. Back to the tap. So I wrapped my hand up like this. It was tape here, tape. It was a cast. Like these two were taped. It was taped down here and it's taped. So the match started. Gordon got me like in like reverse ashi, or I think we were in reverse ashi, and I was safe. Like safe. I had escaped it. I sat my butt out and he had my leg and I'm like looking at him like this. And I no homo, I like rub his butt and I slap his butt. Like, nah, I got you don't got this one. I'm out.
Yep.
So I'm like, And he lets go and they start clapping. I'm like, what? I didn't fucking tap. I'm like, no.
Oh,
Of course you're about to tap me 100 times, but
oh
I
my
didn't tap right there. So it was an exhibition. So however we tap, we just reset. So I literally escaped the foot. He has my leg. I'm like this, looking at him. Everyone's laughing. I like slap his butt. He lets it go as a tap. They all start cheering. I'm like, no, damn it. And then we kept going. But he tapped me like legitimately after that 3 times. Or 3 times legitimately after that. But I did not tap right there. And it was only one.
If you go back to, it was UFC 44. Randy Couture takes on Tito Ortiz. And Randy just annihilates him through that whole fight. And in the 5th round, Tito is kind of inverted, but he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He's holding on to Randy's leg, and he's like trying to get in a position he could get like a knee bar or something, but it's nothing there. And Randy goes and he sits there and he starts spanking him, right? And I had more people say, he tapped out, you blew it, Tito's the winner. And I'm like, you people are fucking retarded. Here you go.
Legitimately, people were saying that?
I swear to God. Right here, when Randy goes, you can look at what does Tito have? Right? Nothing, right? And so it's like one of those, it gets to a point where he starts, spanking on him, and people were saying he tapped. I go, if he had a submission, it would have been a tap. He didn't have anything.
No, hell no.
And so it's like, Jesus Christ, people are crazy.
And then you got to look at the lay of the land. Randy Orton's gonna let you snap that leg off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Randy Couture, is gonna let you snap that leg off before anybody's tapping anytime soon.
Yeah.
Question. I have a question for you too.
Yeah, go, baby.
This is crazy. You're a Hall of Famer, man.
Oh no. My
question to you, you've been in there with all my favorite fights, you've been the ref, and that's how it should be. For me, at the dawn of time was like all these mega fights. Had Big John in there, cut the foolishness out. I don't want any, you know what I'm saying? Put the man in there. And that's how it was for a while. And then they started, the new guys started coming in. But you've been in there with some iconic fights. What fight? Because I've been at fights. I've been in corners and was like, Mike Davis. Oh my, Mike Davis pulverizes people. What fight have you been in there and you're like, what the fuck? This guy is throwing hammers.
Oh, if I was going to tell you a fight that I was concerned, sometimes both ways, but especially for one, and I've talked about it too many times, but Robbie Lawler fought Rory McDonald, in your weight class. So you're talking in the welterweight, weight class. He fought him twice. The second time, I want to say it was UFC 189. And in that fight, in the first round, Robbie breaks Rory's nose. And a lot of people, they couldn't see it because it wasn't sideways, but it was crushed at the right where the cartilage meets the bone. And, Roy didn't, continued on, but he started to aspirate blood because it was bleeding out of his nose, but it was going down his throat, but he couldn't breathe out of his nose. And so he starts, and breathing heavy, and you could see him. He would start the round and he would start off really well, and then he would really start to fall off. And it was because he couldn't get enough oxygen for what was occurring, but he was doing damage to Robbie at times too. I mean, he split Robbie's lip all the way through from his nostril all the way through the lip. Robbie had about a 3-inch gash from an elbow on top of his head. They systematically beat each other to death. And I'm going to be honest, Rory was never the same as a fighter. He fought, many times after, but he was never the same. He was never that guy that you could look at and go, wow, this is the next, George St. Pierre, because that's what people were trying to say at the time, because they, were both out of TriStar at a certain point. But that fight, they both took so much damage. I always say there was a lot for me to do during the fight, but it was a matter of watching two guys leave a piece of themselves inside of that fucking octagon that they were never going to get back. And the way they went about it was just absolutely amazing to me.
And I tell people all the time as a fighter, I say, like, this is my life. And I said, I've given a part of me that I won't get back when I
True.
fight. And so that what you just said is a very true statement. I'm biased because Rory McDonald is one of my favorite fighters ever.
Yep.
And I was so mad at you
For which
that
one?
you didn't stop the fight in the 4th round and give Rory McDonald the belt. I was so fucking mad. I said, I said, come on, Jon. Yeah, that's the fight. He earned it right there. But I'm not mad. It is what it is. But we could have stopped it right
We
there.
could have stopped
and
at the 4th round. No 5
We
round.
could have gave Rory just his little moment. Come on, right? I wanted him to, and I hope this wasn't you. I don't think it was. Carlos Condit, Robbie, did you ref that? You
Yes,
ref
I
that.
did. Yep.
I'm about to hang up on you right now.
You
Carlos
go ahead.
Condit, Robbie Lawler, you ref that.
I did ref that.
Jon, I'm about to hang up on you.
Tell me why.
Jon, I'm about to lose my mind. Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah.
Julio Chavez Jr.
No, senior.
Do you remember that? Julio Chavez Sr. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It is the same thing.
How is it the same thing?
Jon, there were 8 seconds left. He's in Canada. He's 21.
Stop. You're talking about a different fight. You were talking about Carlos Condit versus Rory McDonald.
Oh, Rory, excuse me.
You said Robbie Lawler.
No, did you ref Carlos Condit?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No,
Whoever did, I want to put hands and feet on him. Do you remember that fight, Jon?
Absolutely, dude. Rory
what
won the
are you
first 2 rounds.
doing? He's a kid at home. There's 8 seconds left. What are you doing? I was so mad. I have never been this mad watching. You tell me if I'm wrong. I'm stepping out of my field. This is not my expertise. I'm not a referee. How do you stop this fight right here? 8 seconds left. How do you stop the fight? Beating the shit out of Carlos Condit.
Yeah, he was. He was. It was. You got to admit that was an amazing performance by Rory. He shocked everyone.
He's moving his head. There's 8 seconds on the clock. He's at home. He's a kid. He just put everything out there. You got.
I think that was Rory's first loss.
Yes,
I think it was. Yeah,
he's a kid, Jon. He's a 21-year-old boy.
Yeah, Kevin Dornan was the referee.
Kevin, you suck, Kevin.
At least it wasn't me because I did do Carlos Condit versus Robbie Lawler, and that was a great fight.
You did. That was an amazing fight. Amazing fight. I called it wrong, and I'm using the example Meldrick Taylor versus Julio Chavez. You remember that corruption?
Absolutely. Well,
what the fuck was that? No, Jon.
Hold on. I want you to think about this.
There's nothing to think about.
That was Richard Steele.
I'll let you go.
Okay, it was Richard Steele was the referee for that, right? I know Richard. He's a great guy, but the fact of the one thing, if you take a look after that fight, was Meldrick Taylor ever the same?
No,
and that's the problem right there. He took so much damage from Chavez in that last little bit that it changed his life forever. So anyone that wants to sit there and go, that was a horrible call. No, it was a humane call. I understand why people would sit there and want to have, Richard let it go. But when you're the one inside and you're responsible for that person's life at that moment, really, it's the call.
Jon.
Go,
Jon,
baby,
let's call a spade, Jon.
You are doing such a great job of being Josh Thompson, because this is what Josh does with me all the time.
Corruption at its finest. Jon, biologically impossible for Julio to even get to him if he let the fight. He was over there. Meldrick's over there. There were 2 seconds left. He couldn't even have walked to him, and he wins.
Okay, hold on.
From Philly wins.
Hold on. I want you to think about everything's different too. Hold on. It's the truth. Everything is different at that time than it is now because, like the clackers.
Yes.
10 seconds, right? They have that now, but they didn't have that then. They had it on the TV, so you knew what time it was. Richard Steele didn't know exactly how much time was left. He obviously knew it was close to the end of the round, but you can't say that he knew exactly how much time. Again, when you're concerned for that human being's life and safety, you're going to make the call that is the call that goes towards safety.
That nigga's Uncle Tom, man. Look, Meldrick Taylor. 2 seconds left.
I loved Meldrick Taylor. I thought he was, from the Olympics on, he was phenomenal.
He's my favorite.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Tommy Hearns, Alexis Arguello, Meldrick Taylor. Those are my favorite boxers. This man would throw 12 punch combos in fights. He would literally throw a 12 punch combo and land 8 shots. He would throw a 10 punch combo and land 5 shots, beating up Julio Chavez like no one's ever seen. Last 10 seconds of the match, 2 seconds left. You wave it off. And you're right. Hindsight's 2020, though. You're right. He's never I literally cried.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
No.
You want to make fun of me? You guys whoop my ass. But I cried watching this documentary. I literally cried because that's how much I like that guy.
If you don't cry watching that, you got no freaking soul.
But John, look, like you said, he was changed forever after that. Yes, but watch this. I'm gonna hit you with this.
Go.
What if he's the champ now? Now he has a whole different aura about him. More people around him. Hey man, let's go get you checked out here. Let's go make sure you're good here. Now you're in a different light. His whole life could have changed. He'd had way more money, way more opportunity. Who knows what could have happened? He obviously still won after that. He obviously there was a decline after the fight for sure. Yeah. But who knows when you win the belt? Who knows what could have happened? He could have flew over to China, met this person, and back then, who knows?
China met this person.
But you get what I'm saying. He could have could have happened that changed his life drastically. But he earned that, and they stole it from him.
There's always going to be. What's funny is this now. In fact, when we were in Vegas just this last week, there was a training course that a friend of mine was putting on. It's called Soul Arbiter. It's for boxing officials. There was a lot of MMA guys in there to learn boxing. And one of them, being, Paul Buentello, who was a heavyweight in the UFC for a while. You had Chris Lieben in there, a lot of guys, but it's, one of the hardest things for them to do. And Frank Trigg went through my course and it took me a long time to fucking get Frank to realize as fighters, you guys, first off, I always say you're a different breed. You are. It's just, it's just a matter of fact that fighters that fight at an elite level, they're not your normal human being. They look at life different. They can put up with more. They have a stronger will than the average person by far. But, one of the things that they all do is they look at something and go, no, man, you should have let him go out on a shield. No, man,
you're right. You're
all
right.
of that.
That's valid.
And one of the things you got to break the fighters from, if they're going to be the official, is you got to get rid of that mentality.
You're right.
It's not about making them stand out as a warrior. It's about, can he truthfully at this moment protect himself from that person across the way that's going to be coming at him?
If you dumb it down like that, I respect that. So you're saying
what it is.
As a ref, you got to dumb it down to that.
You do.
Can he? Okay. Then I respect that. And coming from one of the greatest refs to ever live, if you're going to dumb it down to that moment, hey, can he? Cool. That's valid. But we all, the consumer, we're obviously looking at the grand scheme.
Absolutely. And I agree with you.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I agree
now,
with you.
John, here's my opinion. Because I box. Even I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I boxed. I was 13-0, my USA amateur book. I'm 3-0 as a pro.
You got freaking twice as many knockouts as you have submissions in your career. What are you talking about?
But I'm a boxer. But I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. But look, I do not think, in my opinion, you should be allowed to ref boxing without a boxing, not saying boxing background, but you need to only ref boxing. I think boxing is a niche sport where you have to, it's like reffing wrestling. If you don't know what the fuck you're watching when you're reffing wrestling, you better know how to wrestle. You have to.
Yeah.
So for me, boxing is the same. I've seen a lot of guys like you saying Chris Lieben wants to be a
MMA
ref.
is the same.
Sounds crazy to me.
MMA
Like
is
you
the same.
saying Chris Lieben wants to ref boxing
Look,
sounds
I
crazy.
will tell you this. I will tell you
Sounds
this.
crazy to me.
No, you know what? I'm being as honest as I can. And I've had arguments with I know all the top boxing officials and everything, and I will tell you straight out. I ref boxing for years. Obviously I ref MMA for more, but it is so much easier to referee a boxing match than it is an MMA match in most areas, based upon boxing gives the referee time, where MMA gives them nothing.
I get it.
There's no time. Your decision making has to be much faster. There's bigger chances for you to make errors as an MMA ref. There's all these different things happening. But the rules of boxing, I get to, it's the ability to have you, if you go down, be able to stand up. I want you to walk this way, move to your left, move to your right, all these things. Those are all things that help me make the determination. Can I let this guy continue in the fight? All of those things are things. And there's no real, everyone goes, oh, you got 10 seconds. You got to get the fight. No, you don't. You got all the time that you want to take within reason to say, am I going to let this person go back out? So just the rules of boxing make it to where it's an easier, slower sport. It's faster as far as just the hands, but slower overall. You don't have
what
to watch
I'm saying
so
is
much.
you're right. I'm talking about at an elite level. Like I'm talking about like a Terrence Crawford fight.
Oh yeah.
Like
Okay.
at that level,
Terrence Crawford is fighting Canelo coming up. Tom Taylor, one of my good friends, is the referee for it, and he's fantastic. Tom Taylor.
Does Tom know any boxing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm about to say
he's been in the ring with me.
Guy, get the fuck out of there. Because here's my logic on that. So like, as a fighter, what I'm good at, and most people don't know, and I'll tell everybody. So there's an X factor about me that you won't know until you're in there with me. So when I got to the UFC, I didn't really. I'm like,
one of your X factors is you have an 80-inch reach, which is just not fair.
That too, and I don't even care to use it most of the time. But like when I first got to the UFC, I was like, why? Like, how am I here? Like, I know I wanted this, but I'm like, I don't know if this is for me, right? This is after I won the contender. Everyone's like throwing parties. Like, do you guys know what's happening now? Now you're in the deep end, homie. Now you may have to fight a guy from Chechnya with no fucking mustache and a beard this big. Like, do you understand that? You're 5-0 from Alaska, homie. Now you're in the deep end, dog. When Dana hits you up and say, they have no idea. So I'm like, I'm on the contender, right? And I'm like, these guys are like, I'm like, y'all don't know what's about to happen. Like, we're about to go to war with the baddest motherfuckers alive.
As I said, levels.
So here's me.
Hello.
After I win, I'm like, I don't go out. I don't party. Everyone's like, Phil, I had this weird come down. Like, I've never been high off any weird drug in my life, but like, I assume it's like that feeling. So I was like, I just didn't want to do anything. So I'm in the hotel. I'm like, man, I'm in the fucking UFC. Like, can I fight here? I got to fight these badass motherfuckers. I don't want to fight nobody from Chechnya or Dagestan or Azerbaijan. Like, what the fuck? So I'm going out and I'm having these fights. And then I realize this in my fights, when it gets hard, that's where I thrive. Now, I don't like being there. No one likes being there. If I am there, I will compromise myself to win. And I realize that. I don't want to be there. And I'm like, okay, damn, Phil, like you have years of training with Mike Perry, Lyoto Machida, all these Jacare Souzas. Like, I go to the gym for decades and take beatings. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm good enough to be here. I just get beat up every time I go to the gym. But then I realize I'm in fights and it'll get a little gritty. And I'll see this guy kind of wither. See him take a little deep breath. I take him. I'm like, he's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm okay. And then I realize my will to win. That's why I'm here. Everybody in the UFC has something. They have something they're good at.
Yep.
They're not good at everything. If Alex Pierre had jiu-jitsu, a fucking Adam would split. like that, it wouldn't be good, right? He has to have something that he's not good at. What I'm great at. If ever I'm on the stool and he's on the stool and it's a third round, he's bloody and I'm bloody. He's tired, I'm tired. You bet the house. You bet your birthright for your first kid, I'm gonna win. That's where I thrive. I don't like being there, but that's where I fucking
Do you
live.
remember? You remember? We were talking the other day. I said, "Look, if there's one thing I can tell you about you that I know, just after watching your fights, even like your last fight, which was against Lusa, right?
Yeah.
You got the dog. There, not every fighter has the dog in them.
John,
Can't
come
teach
back
it.
a bit for me. John, just come back a bit for me.
There are fighters that have incredible technique, great skills, but when push comes to shove and it's getting nasty, they don't have the dog in them.
Nope.
And those are the ones that have the dog in them are the ones that you can always count on in the end to just have those, those moments where they take over in the fight. Even if they've lost all these rounds, they will come back in one of those rounds and put it on this person and make it to where everyone goes, look at what he's doing. Carlos Pradas did it against, Ian Gary in his fight. You look at what he's got the dog in him, man. And it's something that you either have, you're born with it, or you're not.
You got to skillfully beat a guy like that.
Yep.
If you ever rely on a heart to beat him, you're gonna fold.
Yep.
And once I found it, I loved it. I said, okay, this is why I'm here. I get it. And anytime I rely on that, it's when I say I have 100% finish rate. I ain't Jon Jones, but if we got to rely on I'm bloody, you're bloody, I'm tired, you're tired. It doesn't happen. You're going to lose. I will leave myself in here. Where I live mentally, you're not going to want to go. So if you put me there, you're going to lose. The best bet is to tactically boring, maybe here, take me down here, but it's kind of a little lackluster. But if it's ever like, and I have like a Rocky Balboa moment, oh my God, he's out of there.
There you go.
And I don't like it. I hate it.
No, you don't want to have to be there, but you will.
No, because this game is taking pieces of me. I got years gone in my life that I'll never get back because I got that in me, right? And I'm aware of it. But yeah, like I said, I kind of went off on my point there, but I forget my original point, what I was going to tell you there. But yeah, that's fighting, man. It's just passionate, man. You know how it go, man.
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's what makes it special. So that's good. Let's talk real quick. My man, Podcast Dave, has got a thing about Jon Jones. But first, I want to say, we have one of my great sponsors is OnlyFans. They would love your hat right now. I am telling you that hat belongs with someone on OnlyFans, because what they did is ours was the first podcast that they actually sponsored, and our thing was to bring athletes to the platform. And if you do look at the platform for athletes, you don't get any of the smut. The algorithm will never pull up any of that. Only if you dial it up will you get it. So if you want to talk with fighters like Demetrius Johnson or Luke Rockhold or any of those people, Chris Cyborg, they are all on the platform. OnlyFans has been fantastic for helping a lot of the fighters out. Nick Diaz being another one, and they've been great for us here at the Weighing In Podcast. So check us out on OnlyFans as far as sports, even surfing. They got all kinds of surfing champions, all that stuff. If you want to see the smut, go to the other page.
John, I'm like, look, man, I ain't getting naked on your pod, dog.
No. I won't even ask you to show a nipple.
I gotta be throwing ass on this podcast, dog. I ain't fucking with them.
They've been awesome for us. All right, Dave, what you got here? Let's go.
Yeah, so I got the Jon Jones charges get dropped from the hit and run incident. So I was just doing a bit of research on it. This was the one from February, where the woman got pulled over, said that Jon Jones was driving the car, got out, dipped, and then they later contacted Jon. He denied he was driving, but that he was hanging out with her. And at this point, they've dropped the charges. Jon's released a statement as well. I don't know if you guys want me to read the whole thing, but I'll leave it up there and then we can kind of dip into it.
I don't want to listen to the lies, Steven.
Oh man, well, are you saying? Hold it. Are you saying that Jon Jones would lie? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, okay. I'm joking. Jon is the honest Abe, man. I don't believe the smut they're putting on his name. I don't believe it.
You don't believe any of it.
Here's what's
All right.
crazy. I had no idea John was in trouble again, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm just happy that
just another one.
he's out. He's not in trouble right now, man.
Let
Goodness
me
gracious.
let me ask you this before we get into what happened. What is your opinion of Jon Jones?
I like Jon Jones a lot, and I've looked up to Jon Jones a lot as a fighter.
You should. He's phenomenal.
As a fighter,
Yeah.
tip my hat to him. I've always held him in a high regard. Any conversation I've ever had with Jon Jones in person. Oh, one of my earbuds fell out.
I got you. You're good.
Any conversation I've ever had with Jon Jones, he's shown me love. Any interaction I've personally had with him has been phenomenal. Now, I am not blind to what I've seen, but I only can base my judgment of someone on my interactions, right? I got a friend named Superblood from a neighborhood I grew up in. He killed 6 people. I would say he's not a really
He's a good guy.
stand-up citizen, a pillar in the community. But me and him are good friends.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
it sounds crazy to say.
No,
right?
it doesn't.
And I'm not saying that's who Jon Jones is. What I'm saying is every interaction I've had with Jon personally has been a good one.
Okay, that's good. I look at it. It's undeniable that Jon Jones is one of, if not the greatest MMA fighter that's ever stepped into a cage. He has been that good. Has he had some hiccups, and has he had things that he should have figured out by now and gotten straight? Yes. In this instance, with this whole thing, the fact that he wasn't in the car when the officers arrived and stuff, that's a big thing. The fact that she was drunk and saying that Jon Jones was driving, that she did call Jon, handed the phone to the police. Jon was talking to him. But, I'm glad that this is getting, pushed to the side. I think that they just looked and said, it's just not an easy case for them to prove what they would need to prove without, basically a shadow of a doubt of, his guilt or innocence. I think, it would have been hard to get a jury to convict him on something where he wasn't even there. There's no film of it. So I look and it's a normal thing to take and, put it to the side. Does it mean that Jon didn't do something stupid? No, doesn't mean that. He has done that in the past, but hopefully he's learned from those things in the past and there won't be any more of these.
John, I'm going to tell you an invaluable lesson that my dad taught me as a child. My family calls me Poppy. My father's name is Philip as well. My dad said, Poppy, if you weren't there, they couldn't call your name. My dad would whoop my ass by association. If you're telling my dad a story about anybody and Phil's name gets brought up, whether it don't matter. If I'm in the story at all, as a bystander, if I am an extra in the back, I'm getting my ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
And it was and it was invaluable to me because as an adult, I understand it. My dad says, Poppy, if you weren't there, they couldn't call your name at all, right? And when you remove yourself from situations, none of these problems would even arise, right?
That's right.
And now, in Jon's defense, I remember as a kid, I've been in the back of a RSX, my buddy's RSX, 2001. And I'm sitting on the hump. We got pulled over. Before the cop got to the car, I was out the car in the woods because I was in the car with guys doing some bad things. So that doesn't mean he wasn't there because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I remember us getting pulled over, my buddy's RSX Type S. He's driving. There's someone in the passenger. There's 3 of us in the back. I'm on the hump. We get pulled over before the cop gets to the window. I'm out the sunroof in the woods. Boom, out of here. So they said, hey, he didn't know what I was, but invaluable. Philip Rowe Sr., this is a life lesson for everybody listening. And if you weren't there, they can't call your name. And that's what I'm going to tell my kids, meaning don't even put yourself in these situations, ladies and gentlemen. Be a stand-up human, drink milk, and don't run with scissors, man.
That's good advice. I like it. But you're absolutely right. You know what? It's about making the right choice. And as a parent, That's what you're trying to do with your kids all the time. Hey, you need to make the right choices, because you make the one stupid choice to do something, it can affect you for the rest of your life. So be careful.
John, you got kids?
I got 3 kids. I got 6 grandkids, baby.
What's your oldest? What's his or hers name?
Ron, and he's going to be 39 coming up. 39.
Ron gets arrested 4 times in a month. You're gonna say Ron. I don't care how old he is, son. Let's figure out what is happening here, and let's remove ourselves from some type of situation here.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? So my thing with John, I love him. Come on. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Is it that hard not to run the police?
There comes there comes a point where, hey, when is it that you're going to say, okay, enough's enough?
Come on.
And that's it.
I love you, John. I'm just saying I love you. We all do, you know what I'm saying? I am not holier than thou. I got to answer to the big man. But come on. You know what I'm saying? I'm right.
I got you. You're right.
No more police. No more police.
All right, Dave, what else you got here?
Let's hop into this UFC card and see what you've got for these upcoming fights this weekend, John.
All right, we got Nasruddin Imavov versus Kape Barralho. How do you see this one? This is a middleweight. Thank God you don't have to fight either one of these guys, since they're 185 pounds and they can't get down to your 170, which is beautifully done. Seriously,
I'm gonna say this on camera, and I've said this numerous times. Kape Barralho is the best middleweight in the world.
Damn. Bold statement.
I've said that when I've trained with him. I trained with him in 2000. Kape almost moved in with me in 2019. Kape reached out to me as a fan. I'm not like saying any, like, he just was a fan of who I was online, and we were friends online. This is before he was in the UFC. I went to São Paulo with Jacare when he fought Jan Blachowicz. And I was with him, and I went to train with Kape Barralho. And Kyle said, Phil, thank you so much, the head coach of Fighting Nerds. We have never, if right hand of God, if I'm lying, I'm dying. We have never had a UFC fighter in our gym. I said, what? I said, you train up the street with Damian Maia. What are you talking? He goes, yeah, no one has come to our gym.
Really?
Now, I'm not going to get in. Nah, fuck it. Let's get into it. Damian Maia trained Kyle. I want to say the last time Kyle trained with Damian was like Ryan LaFleur, but Kyle got to a point where they didn't really invite him around to train. I don't know why. Kyle's very good. Put 2 and 2 together, but he's very humble as well. So I was training at Damian Maia's gym when I went to visit. Me and Kyle went there. Me and Kyle sparred in the big cage. I was there with my coach, Julian. I was with Kyle the whole time in São Paulo. We went back to the Fighting Nerds gym. They gave me clothes. They gave me everything. It was so awesome. And I saw how good he was. I saw him train with my coach. I was just astounded. I wanted him to move in with me at the time. I just didn't have the finances I had now to maintain it. Fast forward, he gets on the Contender. He doesn't get caught up or caught in. He won. Then they brought him back. Then he got in. Then the rest is history. But I knew Kyle would be what he was back then. And back then, he was the only one on that team. I didn't see Gene there. I didn't see none of those guys. I'm not saying they weren't. Rufy, none of them cats were there. Carlos, none of them dudes were there when I was there with Kyle. Not one. And now they've amassed to this amazing gym. I think Kyle is just so complete everywhere. I personally think that he's the best middleweight on the planet.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have almost the same impression of him as you. I look at this fight, and I really look at their gyms as one of the things of why I think Kyle is going to end up getting the win against Nasruddin. And it's based upon, the Fight Nerds. One of the things that they do, they study and they break down everything when it comes to the opponents. They have an incredible system of, okay, where's the weaknesses? Where do we attack it? How do we do it? And there's a reason why they're all winning. They're all good athletes. They're all good fighters, but it's also what is happening in that gym is giving them that little advantage that they need against opponents.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a huge part here. I think in the stand-up, I think they're very close as far as, what they do. I think maybe Imavov is a little bit longer, so that's going to be a little bit of a difficulty for Kyle. but I think on the ground, I think the wrestling of Imavov is better than Kape's, but I do think that Barralho's ground game is much better overall as far as what he can implement on the ground than what Imavov does. So I just look at it. I just look at it as I've got 2 against 1. I do have the wrestling of Nasruddin and the fact that he is very tough to take down, but he does slow down, and Barralho does not. He keeps coming and he keeps putting pressure. And when you have someone that's consistently putting pressure on you, if you are not in that just supreme condition, it is hard to maintain what I call an RPM that you can match. And eventually you start to fall off the cliff. And as soon as you start to fall off that cliff, he's going to be all over you. That's what happened. Take a look at his fight when he fought Jared Cannonier. It was a great fight. They were very close, and he just kept that pressure to where eventually he just broke Cannonier down. And I think that's what's going to happen in the fight. But it's a great matchup. I cannot wait to see this.
Amazing matchup. Now, on the backside, here's where I think Imavov can win. If Imavov cannot be taken down, right, and he's hard to take down, if he cannot be taken down and decides to say, I am going to take risks, I'm going to come forward, he can win. Yep. If he plays a tit-for-tat game with Kyle, it's going to be a long night. But if he says, I'm not being taken down and I'm going to take risk, that's hard to do, he can win, right? Because he's very hard to take down. He is longer. I would give this striking edge, boxing, to Nasruddin for sure. That's where I see his path to victory. But Kyle's ground game is scary good. Scary good.
But what do you think of what difference do you think there's going to be in the fact that Nasruddin is at home in Paris and we got Barralho having to go all the way there? Do you think it's an advantage, a disadvantage? Pressure of being honest, in your home, or the other way around?
I think that only matters to Americans. All these cats that come from nothing, that live out there in the middle of nowhere, it don't matter where Kyle fights. He could fight on Mars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that only matters to the American fighters. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen it. You've seen it. Test of time. Like, a Brazilian going to Paris, what's the difference of him coming to America? You know what I'm saying? Like, home ain't America for Kyle. Most of his fights are going to be here anyway. So, like, I don't think that matters to those type of guys. If you see his gym and you see where it is, if you see his car, Kyle can literally pick up his car and park it. He still has it. When I said, Kyle, if we crash, we're going to die. Like, I was afraid that a bike would hit us. And Kyle had I don't even know what kind of car it is. It is like, it looks like the Izetta that Urkel had in Family Matters. Like, it's the smallest fucking car I've ever seen in my life. Awesome. And he still has. I'm sure he got money now, but now RDR, call me crazy. RDR,
he's trouble.
Caio Borralho, and Fluffy beats Hamza. I don't care what anybody says. RDR, Fluffy, and Caio beats Hamza. Every one of them.
Sounds familiar.
Look, I don't care what no one says. You are not. If your game plan is to take Caio down and good luck. Take him down. Cool. He'll pull guard. There's no chance. He's super large, huge legs. He's going to elevate you from everywhere, meaning he can get into leg entanglements. And that's going to elevate you. He can get back to his feet anyway. Like, Fluffy is durable. He can wrestle. RDR's ground game is disgusting. The only person that I think, and I have to see it, can grapple with RDR is Caio on the ground. RDR is creme de la creme on the ground. Like, different level elite. Like, people don't get it. And he has proven himself outside of fighting with matches that he's done. Look at his match with Andre Galvao. That alone should show you who he is. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's a massive human being. So I'm actually very excited. Massive.
Huge.
I'm very excited about middleweight when it comes to RDR, Caio, Fluffy, Nas. All those guys are about to show Hamza what's up. And I'm not hating on Hamza. I just want to see a good fight.
No, absolutely.
He has a murderer's row.
Oh, yeah.
look. Robert Whitaker, Izzy, Alex Pierre. I'm sorry. Like it's not happening. It's not happening versus Hamza. I'm sorry. We need RDR, Fluffy,
Yep.
Tayo, and Azardine, and those
You're
are
right.
all the next guys time to fight. So I'm pumped.
I agree with you. All right. The co-main event is another phenomenal, but it's the fight nerds in here. You got Benoit Saint Denis, who has been fantastic, going up against Mauricio Rufy, who you said was not at the fight nerds at the time that you were there, but he is part of the crew, and he has been fighting very well. I think his last fight was the knockout against Bobby Green.
I'm a big fan of Rufy's. Just as a fighter, if I'm scouting Rufy and I want to see how I can beat a guy like Rufy, who's so dynamic, who has great hips, to beat Rufy, you have to fight him here. So look, 62% of fights happen here, out of range, fainting. 62% of fights, fainting. The beginning of the fight.
Yep.
62% of fights happen here. 38% of fights happen here. 5% of fights happen here. Rufy is at his weakest here.
Yep.
Why? Because everything is a big movement from his hips. Big punches. Boom, boom. One shot, slip, shot, boom. All that range. You got to get close and put hands and combos on him. Parry, catch, and shoot. If you want to fight Rufy at distance, it is going to be terrible for you. If you can push that pace, get close, Mike Perry him, that's your best chance.
Yeah.
That's your best chance. But if Saint Beniz can do that, he got it. If not, good luck.
Do you look at Rufy and style-wise, he compares a lot to Conor McGregor, the way that Conor used to fight?
Of course. Look, so when I met Kyle, I saw it right away, his posture. I said, man, Conor's your favorite fighter. Absolutely. Conor's Kyle's favorite fighter. I know Conor's Rufy's favorite fighter, and clearly they're emulating him. You know, way better ground game than him, so they're emulating him, and they're running with his style, and they're wrecking house.
That they are. All right, we got Modestas Bukakas taking on Paul Craig, another outstanding jiu-jitsu guy. Sometimes takes way too many chances with his chin while on the ground, but he is Podcast Dave's favorite fighter.
Look, I'm not betting on nobody. Name is Bukaka. So fuck that. Paul Craig is my boy anyway. Paul Craig's about to mop this cat up. I'm not anybody with a name Bukaka ain't for me. I don't even know who that guy is. Bukaka. Get him the fuck out of here.
I actually think it's a very good fight for Paul Craig. Bukakas is more of a stand-up guy on the ground. If it gets to the ground, Paul Craig's going to have a huge advantage.
Okay, so, I don't know Bukaka.
Yeah. All right, we got Bolaji Oki taking on Mason Jones. Mason Jones coming off of a very big win. What do you think of this matchup?
I don't know who Bolaji is, but I think Mason Jones, once again, is great. People don't really know about Mason Jones. Mason Jones, to me, is like Roosevelt Roberts.
Oh,
they're
good.
Extremely underrated, and they're extremely good. If you look at it, makes me mad, and I'm blessed because when I look at Roosevelt Roberts' record and the guys he's fought, I'm grateful because that motherfucker has fought monsters.
Yeah, he has.
And it makes it. I'm like, am I the only one that sees this? And they cut him. I'm like, please keep him. If you let me match make for Roosevelt Roberts, that motherfucker will be number 1 in the world, number 2 in the world. He will be cutting off motherfuckers' heads. Look, he fights monsters. Mason Jones is so good. He is so good. He is so complete. He is tough. I think this second go around is going to be a resurgence for him, but he fought my boy, Mike Davis. And that just shows you how good Mike Davis is to go out and beat a guy like Mason Jones. Because Mason Jones, I don't care what has happened. I don't care him getting cut, is fucking good everywhere.
Did you see Mason Jones' last fight against Jeremy Stevens in Iowa?
Yes.
I mean, I was so impressed with the fight that he put
Man
on.
versus boy.
And
he wants to fight Mike Perry. What the fuck is he thinking?
Hey,
I'm biased. Mike's my boy. I've trained him for 12 years, so Mike's going to cut him in half.
Mike is, I said it too many times, and we've said it on the podcast. there's those guys that are tailor-made for certain things, guys that are tailor-made to be boxers, guys that are tailor-made, for MMA, and then bare knuckle boxing. Mike Perry is perfect for that. Every time he goes to he did I know he did it for money and stuff with Jake Paul, but I'm like, what are you doing? God damn it, you're not a fucking pure boxer. You are meant for bare knuckle boxing because he's got the dog in him. It's just the same as what we're talking about. That's a guy that, he is absolutely picture perfect in that promotion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No excuse. Telling you the lay of the land, Jake Paul was 225 pounds. Mike Perry was maybe 191. Absolutely absurd that he did that. But back to Bukaka or these guys.
No, I do think that Mason Jones is the guy that's
phenomenal. Shout out to Mason Jones. Very good fighter.
Yeah, he's fantastic. All right, we got Axel Sola against Reese McKee. Reese, the guy that came into the UFC out of Cage Warriors. Yeah, had some tough times. They kind of let him go, brought him back, got the win. But against Sola is way better than people realize. This guy is from France. I've seen him fight many times. I think he's undefeated still at this time.
Yeah.
Dave, is he undefeated?
10-1.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, he is. Go ahead.
I don't know who he is, but
okay.
I know he's good because Reese McKee absolutely sucks. So he must be from Paris. This guy must be from Paris.
He is from Paris, and he is a striker.
Yeah, so they brought him in here to cut off Reese McKee's head. Reese McKee is garbage, hot garbage. I tried to fight that guy. So okay. I'm actually garbage for trying to call a garbage guy out. But the only reason Reese McKee is there is to literally be a sacrificial lamb because, like I said, I knew that. I don't know who Axel is, but I knew the guy was good because he's fighting Reese McKee.
Okay. The start of the main card is Patricio Pitbull, who got his first win in the UFC, going up against Lucene Kita. Now, Lucene is from, I believe they call him the Black Panther, and God dang it, where is he from? I want to say
Germany,
Cameroon, but
Belgium.
It's not.
I mean, Belgium.
Well, yeah, not originally though.
Okay,
he's
10 KOs.
Yeah, dude, he is 16. What is he? 16 and
16 and 1.
Yeah, I see it over there.
10 KOs. Where is he from? Where is it? Belgium. Do they grapple in Belgium though?
Not really. And that's
he's about to get put on his back.
Well, but and also look at Pitbull. He's got power. He definitely has power. But this guy, I've watched this guy fight. He is dynamic, a great athlete, fast and explosive. I just haven't seen him go into more than round 2. I've never seen him go to round 3. So
yeah, all right, then get him out of here. There's no way. So, like, John, you've seen this happen time and time again. These European or these guys, any of these guys that are like 17-1, 18, and they're strikers. Yeah. They're fighting over there. They're fighting these striking type matches. You welcome to the UFC. You're about to get put on your back, homie. And Patricio clearly knows how to win. Is an elite grappler. Is an elite fighter. Anytime I see a guy with like 20 KOs, has like 18 and like, you're about to get put on your back. So in my opinion, like, come on, 10 knockouts. Like, there's no way. He's 16-1. He's 27 years old with 10 KOs. I'm not shitting on him. No. But fighting in the UFC, there's no way he didn't fight some cab drivers. A lot of them.
And John, just to know, he's coming down from 55 to 45. So I don't know if you guys have any takes on that.
That matters. Well. Okay, that's a big deal.
Yeah, but see, I always look at that. That's bad. To me, man, the fact that you take and you're dropping an additional 10 pounds. 10 pounds is a lot of weight, okay? And also the fact that with it, guys that are smaller are faster.
Facts.
They usually have faster, hands, better footwork, all these things that happen that you were used to, just a little bit difference in the speed, and then you go down there and it's like shit. Because I don't care what you do in the gym. It can never be as fast as that fight seems as soon as it starts.
Nope. Exactly.
So,
but watch this. Lucene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. If this is his first fight he's dropping down, no way he's gonna win. I'm gonna tell you why. He's in the no one that can just grapple great says, okay, I'm gonna drop down. Everyone that gets to the UFC, they say, okay, let me go down a weight class to make sure. Let me test these waters out. Like, if you can grapple, you're going to be comfortable at lightweight. If have all these fights at lightweight, you're 17-1 with all these knockouts, 16-1. Why are you going to go to UFC and step to 8? I guarantee you this guy can't grapple. I know he can't grapple.
In addition, it's different. Just like you were talking earlier, we say it all the time. When you step out of that back curtain into that arena for the UFC, it's different. It's a
Yes,
different
sir.
set. It's a different set of lights, and it's overwhelming at times for a lot of fighters that are good fighters. But you've got not only the opponent, you've got all this pressure that it's self-induced. You're the one putting it on you, but it's there, and so it's tough coming in on your first fight in there too. So could be different. We got William Gomez, who is from France, but he's fantastic, super on his feet, very difficult to take down. He's taking on Robert Ruchala. Now, Robert Ruchala is 11-0 from Poland, I believe. Tough guy, but I think William Gomez is a problem in this one for him. I don't know if you know either one.
No, but I'm rooting for William because he's black. Umar Sy.
Omar C.
Umar Sy. Umar
Yeah,
C.
C.
Okay, I've seen him.
Yeah.
Him. Yes, I've seen him. He's good. He's good.
He is good. Good stand-up.
He's good.
Yeah, and dude, you talk about a Greek god. This guy is physically put together like a monster.
Yeah, he is. He's fighting. He got a tough fight. If I think that guy who he's fighting, if I think that's him, the Brazilian guy.
Yeah, Bredson.
Didn't he get clipped in the UFC in one fight and he got knocked out quick?
Yep. Yes,
he's good though. He's very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be a tough fight for him because this Bredson guy is good. He can grapple. He's tough. He got clipped one fight, but this is gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
Umar Sy or C or whatever. That's gonna be a good fight.
You also have Marcin Tybura from Poland, who has been, probably the most active heavyweight there is in the UFC, taking on a newcomer who was out of the PFL, Anta Dalia. He had actually won the PFL's tournament one of those years, so he became the PFL champion. Now he's in the UFC at heavyweight.
Making 10-10. Easy.
Yeah. Here's the, I say this all the time. Look, I'm a heavyweight. I look and I go, truthfully, the UFC, and I don't care if it's the UFC, the PFL, any of them, there's just not enough good heavyweights. I mean, you got, obviously Aspinall is really good. He's a dynamic big man. Jon Jones as a heavyweight, phenomenal, obviously. But he only won his two fights that he had in heavyweight. You can look at Cyril Gane. He's been exposed. Cyril Gane, as far as a stand-up fighter, good and stuff, but that blueprint on how to beat him has been shown, and now everyone is getting by him and stuff. There's just not that many good heavyweights to make. You take a look at the lightweight, the welterweight, the middleweights now are phenomenal. It used to be that the heavyweights and the light heavyweights were like the ones that really stole the show. Now the middleweight division is full of killers, like you were talking about. It used to be so weak, and now it's crazy. The welterweight division is stacked. The lightweight division is stacked. The featherweight division is stacked. The bantamweight division is stacked. You look at the top 15 from 125 to 170. Anybody in that top 15 on the right night can win that title. It's crazy how good the whole lineup is. But then you go to heavyweights, dude, you get past number 3, no one's winning that title. I'm just being honest.
I think the UFC dropped the ball with not signing Nemkov.
No doubt.
Come on, just pay the guy. Yeah. I doubt he was asking for millions of dollars. Like you just said, that is the weakest division we got. Get Corey Anderson back.
Hello.
Get Nemkov.
I agree.
Just pay him. Yeah, give him $250,000 to show. Whatever it is they
Corey
want.
Anderson can fight his ass off.
Think about this now. If Corey Anderson was in the UFC now, he'd be kind of steamrolling that entire division.
Yep.
I think it sounds crazy.
No, it's the truth.
I think he beats Aspinall. Easy.
I tell you what, I think that he
what's he gonna do? Box with him? He's gonna put him on his back immediately.
I'm telling you, I would take Corey Anderson over Ankalaev. I would.
Yes.
As long as you allow Corey to do what he does, meaning let Corey wrestle, let him use ground and pound, he will punch a hole in his head.
And now he forces the issue. Like he goes out there and he is taking down elite Russians. mounting them and finishing these people.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is they got with Corey, man, just give him his last 3 years in the UFC. Sign Nemkov. Like, you can revamp that division, bro.
Oh,
But
yes,
we
you can.
need heavyweights for sure because
Yeah,
we don't
I
got
agree.
any yet.
All right. Anybody else on this list that you see up here? You think
Trey
that it's going to be a
Waters,
good
my
fight?
teammate. My teammate. He trains
Talk
at
about
Fusion
him. Let's
Excel.
go. Trey Waters taking on Sam Patterson.
So Trey Waters probably has one of the most aesthetically pleasing striking prowess in the UFC. He's very, very pleasing to watch. He has an amazing pull right hand, probably the best in the UFC. Phenomenal striker. Used to be more of a grappler, and then he got away from it. But very tricky to deal with, hard to take down. He's undefeated in the UFC. He's 2-0.
Yep.
He was injured. He tore his ACL, and that's what had him out. So, but Sam Patterson is very good, and he's tall. It's going to make a very tricky fight. I'm tall. I'm better than Sam Patterson, so we've been training for him. I'm praying that Trey goes out there and do what we've been doing. I wanted to fight Sam Patterson instead of Angelusa. Never got that fight. I thought it made sense.
Patterson's good everywhere. He's got a good
great
submission
everywhere.
game, man.
Good ground game.
Yep.
I would say he's more of a grappler, but it's a UFC, you got to respect everyone. And I think his last fight, the gentleman didn't really respect his stand up and got clipped, and he got finished. You got to respect everybody in the UFC. But good fight. I think Trey's gonna win. I really do, obviously. But it's gonna be tricky because Sam is tall. So this is what I think is gonna happen. What I don't want. What I told Trey was, I said, Trey, when you get out there, I don't need no feelers. Put it on him right away because he can piece this guy up bad on the feet. What I'm afraid what would happen was Trey would come out, pop, 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 and then they're like, okay, and we're just wrestling and we're shooting and we're pulling guard. And I said, bro, when you see it, you feint and you go. Don't pause your jab. If you throw it out there, mean it. Because I don't want him to put hands on this guy and in 30 seconds, hit him with 10 shots, and then the guy's like, and then now we're just grappling. So I think Sam has a little edge in the grappling because he's a very good grappler, but I think Trey's stand-up is just elite.
Good to hear. One of the fights that I think is going to be very interesting is early on the card. I'm kind of surprised by it, is Renat Fakhretdinov taking on Andreas Gustafsson. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna like that fight. That's gonna
I'll tell you what, in the 170s, this fight right here, Andreas came in and put on a show against Chaos Williams. You talk about a guy that'll bite down on his mouthpiece and go after someone. This guy is a stud.
He reminds me of Mike Perry if he was a grappler.
Very, very true. Very true. And Renat is a guy that can, he's got a great record. What, 24-2 at this time, I believe.
23-1.
23-1. Okay, shit, I'm wrong. 23-1. But he is a very good wrestler. But he does slow down in the fight. He does start to have problems as the fight gets past this, first round into the second round. Starts to slow down a little bit. And what I saw out of Gustafsson, he doesn't slow down at all. He just keeps on.
I think Gustafsson's gonna drown him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna drown him. And the thing about Renat's a grappler. And Gustafsson is not taking one step back, homie. At all.
I agree.
So I think first round, Renat will be able to get out in these exchanges and wrestle out. And I just think he's gonna get drowned second, third round.
It's gonna be interesting.
A dog, man. He's a dog. He's a dog.
You saw that. Look at Chaos Williams. I got a lot of respect for him because the guy fights hard and he hits hard and he doesn't back down from people. And Gustafsson just beat him down.
Bad.
That says something. So, and especially in his first fight, because he came in last minute into the UFC and you did that, it's saying something about how good you are. All right.
Good. I'm going with him.
Yep. What do you got else, Dave?
Yep. Florida Timberman super chats. What are y'all's thoughts on the Adrian Lee versus Tai Ruotolo fight on Friday? 1FC. Shout out to weighing in, Big John, Josh, and Phil.
I'm being honest. Aiden Lee is coming from the Lee family, so he's got a great support system around him. His brother's been the champion, his sister's been the champion. But look at the Rotolo brothers are special.
Cut it straight, John. Guy got no chance.
I'm going to be honest. You know, everyone in MMA, everyone's got a puncher's chance at the start of the fight. I'll give them. Other than that, I'm just going to tell you right now, Cade and Ty both, they're special, and they're not only special as far as their jiu-jitsu, their stand-up is damn good too. These guys can fight. They've been doing it since they were little kids. Aiden Lee he's a talented guy. He's talented on the ground. He cannot fucking hold a candle against what Rotolo can do on the ground. Rotolo is that fucking, again, levels. He's just that much better than just about everyone over there right now. And so I think I personally think that Rotolo is going to smoke him.
Ty Rotolo?
Yep.
Khamzat Chimaev in a grappling match. Khamzat gets submitted 3 times in 5 minutes. So whoever Adrian Lee is, sorry, brother.
Yeah.
It's not happening. You are here. Sacrificial lamb. That's it. When the bell rings, you got a chance.
Yep.
Ty can grab you, jump guard, and bye-bye, young man. Bye-bye.
Yep.
He's not losing anytime soon, man. Like, I need people to understand the level of grappling these guys have.
Oh, man.
Literally, Ty Rotolo versus Khamzat Chimaev. Call me crazy. They could fight tomorrow. I'm betting on Ty. Unless Khamzat says, I'm going to strike and not let him take me down. But if Khamzat says, I'm going to shoot a double leg and grab that kid, bye-bye, Khamzat. Well, see you later.
Okay, do you remember in one, they actually had Rotolo going up against RDR in a grappling match?
Yes, I remember. And look at the size difference.
Oh, my God. Huge difference. And RDR wanted nothing to do with him, and when it finally goes to the ground, it was like, they are so good. They are so special on the ground. Yep.
Different level.
So,
and they can fight, like John said. So, yeah, I don't know who Adrian Lee is. No disrespect to him, but he's not about to win. There's no chance.
Yep.
All right, John, we'll wrap up after this one. We have a fight announcement. Brandon Royval and Manel Kape. That's going to happen the last fight card of the year. It says it's the last main event of the year, so it'll be 5 rounds as well. What you got on these two?
That's an awesome matchup in the flyweight division. First off, look at Brandon Royval just had a fight of the year candidate up against Joshua Van. He lost that first round, came back in the second round, and the third round was so good, so close until Van hit him with a shot that actually put him down. He made it through the fight, but Brandon Royval is good everywhere. Here's the problem. Manel Kape is fantastic on the feet, but he cannot be on the ground with Brandon Royval. He does not have the skill set to stay with him there. He's got to get himself, back to the cage, get back on his feet. That's where Manel Kape can win this fight. He absolutely can. But if he ends up being taken down by Brandon more than 3 times in this fight, he's going to lose this fight.
I think Brandon is elite. I think he's a lot more complete. And I just think he can. I always bet on the guy that can grapple better. When it comes to, like, if they both have good, decent striking, which clearly Brandon does.
Yep.
He grapples way better than Manel, and in the UFC, it's king, bro. So in my opinion, he doesn't beat Brandon. In my opinion,
I agree.
I gotta plug Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson knocked out Joshua Van. We said,
holy shit! Hold on, man.
He knocked out him less than a calendar year ago.
Charles Johnson. First off, I love Charles Johnson for how active he is. This is one of the things I was talking to you about. Man, you don't want to let your career go by. Charles Johnson is absolutely killing it as far as how often he is fighting. And just, he's taking fights. Look at his last fight. That kid was a killer. That kid was good. And Charles Johnson went out there. He was, having some problems beginning, started to put it together and landed that shot. I love seeing the fact that Charles Johnson is doing well and getting all those. He's averaging, 4 fights a year. Love
yes.
that.
Shout out to Charles Johnson. He changed to Fusion Excel now. He moved to Orlando. Our kids go to the same school. That's my little bro. I helped him move out here.
Very good.
He's the man. I like
it. John, terrible haircut. Terrible haircut. Just telling you.
Terrible. I make fun. Trust me. I make fun of him more than anybody. Cut that shit off. But terrible. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? And I don't want to get into it too crazy because this is a topic that
It's all right.
people. How do you feel about the Raja situation right now?
As
I'm
far
curious. I'm curious your outlook on it. Just a quick synopsis of how your overall feel on the situation.
we talked about it on the podcast here, and my overall feel is, Raja, he's a 25. First off, he's not a kid. He's a 25-year-old man. Okay. And you can only ride on your daddy's coattails for so long before you got to step up and be your own man. The whole thing with, the live streaming and all that stuff and what he did, the guy, Psycho Stu, who was the pro wrestler, pro wrestlers are always working, figuring out things. And he did something he shouldn't have done. He should not have hit Raja with the can. The can was, obviously it didn't have a whole lot in it. So it's not like it's going to hurt him, but it's a matter of, you don't do that. And it was wrong. And at that moment, if Raj wanted to do something, that's your time to do it. When it comes to the point, once he shook the man's hand, said, hey, it's okay. The guy comes back and apologizes again, man, I'm sorry, all that stuff. And then he premeditates. And this is the part that's bad. He premeditated exactly what he was going to do. All right. And it's okay. There was people in there and they were talking about, hey, give him a receipt in pro wrestling. What a receipt is, if, people understand pro wrestling, it means that, hey, he hits you with a hard shot. You can hit him back with a hard shot. That's what a receipt is. So when Raj goes in there and he picks him up and slams him, that's a hard shot. Okay. Because he knocked him out. He was not supposed to take him down in the way that he was taken down. But then he goes and he hits him again. Okay, I'll give you that one. When you hit him 22 times, you just committed a crime. And you're a grown fucking man. This is not about fucking trying to impress anyone. It's not about someone calling you a bitch or anything, because this is what I was talking about earlier when I say you make decisions in your life. And sometimes those bad decisions will affect you for the rest of your life. And I love Quentin. I love Quentin as a person. I've been around him forever. But, just because Raj is his son doesn't make what he did okay. It's not okay. It was wrong. He's absolutely wrong for what he did. It was criminal, and he's going to pay for it. I truly believe he's going to have a problem.
I believe so too. And here's my quick synopsis on it. And people were coming at me in my DMs for it. So I said this, and this is how I know I was raised by a very God-fearing, solid human being, because all of my dad's life lessons come back now. At the end of the day, if you treat everybody how you treat your grandparents, all these all these exchanges we have with people will be great, right? So there's a cause and effect to everything. If I treat this man how I want my brother to be treated, I'll be in a good spot. And let's just leave that there, right? So, but here's how I feel about the situation. Raja or Raja was wrong.
Yep.
There is no justifying what he
There's
did.
no
He
getting
was
past
wrong.
that.
Period. Wrong. End of discussion. I did not agree with it. I would not have done what he did. No way, shape, or form. It was wrong. Now, here's my problem with how everyone else is handling it. Oh, he this. He can't wait. Okay, cool. All right, he deserves to get arrested. He deserves to go to jail. You're right. Okay, so what happens now? So what happens? A kid that with no criminal record, they arrest him. They go through the litigation process. His dad is rich. They get the best lawyer. What's going to happen? Is Roger going to jail for 30 years? No,
No.
he's not. Right? I literally know people that have killed people that have been in and out of jail in 7 years. Right? I have a good friend of mine changed his life around and went to jail for aggravated assault, attempted murder. He did 6 years. He's out of jail. Did way worse than what Roger did. Right? So here's my point. Roger goes to jail. His dad pays for all these fancy lawyers. They say, hey, you get on probation. Is it okay now? Did we leave it alone? Is it okay? Is everyone happy? No. He went to jail, right? No. So that's my thing, right? So that's one point I have. Let the cops come arrest him. He's in jail. He's getting bailed out by his dad. They're getting the best lawyer. They're going to go through litigation process. Maybe he gets probation. Okay, now is it okay? Do we stop talking about it? No. There's more underlying that you have to deal with. So here's my thing. Cause and effect. You cannot be upset at the lengths someone will go if they feel disrespected. And I stand and I live and die on that hill. Meaning, if you go to East LA right now, Crenshaw specifically wearing red, saying, fuck the rolling 60s. Gang activity is stupid. Never been a part of a gang. I was raised in the church. I actually sung in the choir at one point in my life. I am the polar opposite of a gangster. I denounce everything to do with gangsters. But if I go there wearing red, saying, I don't care about gangsters are lame, I'm going to probably get shot, right?
Yes, you are.
I can't be mad at what happens to me if I go there and this happens. So my thing with everyone, there's a cause and effect. Yes, he was wrong. I do not agree with it. It was not justified in my opinion. But if someone feels disrespected because of something you did, you cannot be mad at the lengths that person will go. I know people in New York City, in the hood of New York, right? In bad areas, you see this online, you see this in group, that have gotten altercations with people stepping on their shoes, stab people because I know that sounds crazy, right? But it happens. So what are you going to do? I don't want to be the guy that's dead, right? And we talking about, man, you can't believe he killed Phil because he stepped on his shoes. Phil was in East LA wearing red and these guys killed him. Ain't that crazy? Yes, it is. Have the bandwidth and wherewithal to realize I need to think proactively because people are crazy. People are unstable. Instead of thinking reactively, let's think proactively and let's treat everyone with respect. And let's understand that some people, like Raja, are unstable and aren't all there. So I'm going to think for him. That's why I always keep a gun on me. That's why I always keep 2 guns on my person because I got to think for the crazy people.
I love
You know, I got to think for the crazy people. I think proactively to keep me safe and my family safe. And that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, look, Raja was wrong. He was wrong. But there's a cause and effect.
Yeah.
If we treat each other how we want to be treated, if we don't engage with someone the way we do not want to be engaged with, all these problems will happen few and far in between if we're thinking proactively instead of reactively.
Let me ask you this one question off of that, though, since you're talking about respect.
Mm-hmm.
When the man goes and says, hey, man, I apologize, and puts his hand out, do you shake his
Mm-hmm.
hand if
Yes.
you feel disrespected?
Now, look, who's to say this? Look, when I was a kid, my cousin, Nathaniel Giscombe, engineer for Intel, one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. Love this guy, super God-fearing, is the reason I'm where I'm at now. One of my most, always there for me, my cousin, love this kid to death, my mother's brother's son. I could never beat up Nathaniel as a kid. So what I did was things like that. I would make truce. I would make peace. I would do anything to catch Nathaniel off guard, to catch Nathaniel slipping. Hit him in the stomach and run. Now I'm cooked. Now he's going to chase me down. So when you are drunk on the job, right, which you're not supposed to be, I saw tons of wrestlers say, and I am not agreeing. Once again, I have to say this because people don't listen. People don't comprehend. Raja was wrong.
Yeah.
There was no justifying what he did. He was wrong. But what I'm saying is we need to think proactively, right? So incidents like this won't happen. So many people get killed, and we talk about what should have happened and what we could have done. Let's think proactively. The guy was drunk, right? The guy was doing all this at work. If my guy did not hit him over the head, none of this would have happened, right? None of this would have happened. And that's what caused this. Now, I think that unstable kid had no intentions to make truce. I think he is out of here. I think he was like, I'm going to pretend like we're cool. and I'm going to do everything in my power to get one up, which is not cool, which is crazy. But he is crazy, and you can't take into account for crazy people. That's why we have to think proactively. That's why we have to treat people all with respect. That's why we can't do unto others as we do not want done to us.
Well said. Well said. I totally agree with all of that. It's
My bad. I was a little passionate. I'm from New York. I'm talking my hands, and I'm a fighter. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Passion is good. Look, one thing I want to say, first off, I want to tell you, thank you so much for your time on coming on with me here. I've had a blast with having you as my co-host. You are looking good. Please
appreciate it, man.
Let everyone know when you are going to have your next fight, because you are fucking fun to watch. You are a fucking killer in the cage. So put it out there right away and we will blast it out. And I'd love to have you back on to talk about your next fight if you are willing to come back on.
And for me, if it means anything, I really appreciate this, man. And from the bottom of my heart, man, you are a pioneer. You hear it all the time, but I've been around the UFC and watching this since '98. I used to watch Pat Smith fucking elbow holes in people's faces. Like,
so did I.
Was my favorite fight. Yeah, you watched it from the best seat in the house.
Dude.
From one of my favorite fighters ever, Pat Smith. And that's how long I've been watching it. And I'll be honest, I never thought I could compete here. I didn't think I was good enough, but I always wanted to. So just being on this podcast, I'm gonna send my friends and they're all gonna be like, this, it's just weird to me. And I'm living my dream and I appreciate every moment and I'm grateful for every moment. So thank you. And October 18th, I am fighting. I signed, I agreed. I did not sign. I got offered a bout and I agreed. I'm praying for this gentleman to sign. They call him Mike Tyson, of whatever region he's from. I don't know. I'm not gonna say his name.
I think I know his name.
But he's from somewhere else, and they call him the Mike Tyson of where he's from and his ethnic background.
All right.
I said yes 4 weeks ago.
You still haven't heard.
I can't control anything. I am willingly ready to go in Vancouver. I was ready to go in Rio. I'm training. I'm prepared. So hopefully you guys see me October 18th.
Well, if that does come about, man, I'd love to have you back on so we can talk about that fight. But Phil, thank you so much for your time. You were fantastic. For everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. We will see you.